Listen, it's 2023. If you still believe Shanks ain't a swordsman, then that's on you. But in this video, we're gonna go under the assumption that he is a swordsman. And if you don't believe that, then hey, like it's been this long and you're probably one of the most stubborn people and you will never change your mind. So yeah, Mihawk vs Shanks, or more specifically, we're gonna talk about the world's strongest swordsman title. Because some people actually believe that Shanks is a swordsman, but he's still superior to Mihawk. And that's because people view the title as the world's most skilled swordsman. Yes, Mihawk has the supposed skill over Shanks, but Shanks is overall stronger. And that's the whole premise of this video, and I genuinely want to ask questions and I want to see what you guys mean by that, because I honestly don't understand. So I want you guys to think about it like this, and I want to see if you guys have answers to stuff like this. Is Zoro just more skilled than every swordsman when he beats Mihawk? And he's not necessarily the strongest person wielding the blade. He's technically the most skilled person wielding the blade. The same case as Mihawk and Shanks. Is Zoro not even going to be confirmed stronger than Shanks, but he would technically only have more skill, and Shanks could potentially be stronger than Zoro, who's the world's strongest swordsman? I really want to know, what is the skill you guys speak of? The definition of skill is like the root problem to all of this. Why is it that the title gets dissected to being the world's most skilled swordsman? When has this unknown supposed skill been emphasized to be the main reason why a swordsman is so strong? And why is that separated from your overall strength with the sword? And if the title is referring to the supposed skill only being over other swordsmen, why isn't the title just straight up the world's most skilled swordsman, and why is it the world's strongest swordsman? Some of you guys used to point that Oda emphasized that Mihawk is more skilled than Shanks. Why did he say he was more skilled? Why didn't he just outright say he's stronger than Shanks? I mean, Oda has already done that when he introduced Mihawk as the world's strongest swordsman. If you take sources outside the manga, you will find countless data books, magazines, whatever you name it, that also reinforce this as well. Why are we acting like Oda hasn't said Mihawk is sitting at the top, waiting for Zoro? To me, it makes the most sense when Oda uses the term skill that it refers to your overall strength with the sword. You are the strongest with the sword because you are the most skilled at swordsmanship. And we know top tier swordsmanship in One Piece requires you to have overwhelming strength, overwhelming haki, be a part of the handful of the very strongest, be incredibly strong physically, and the list goes on. And all those things I described is what Roanoa Zoro is, the embodiment of the greatest swordsman we will see in the entirety of One Piece. So if this skill in swordsmanship isn't referring to what I just described, what is he more skilled at? And when have we seen it in One Piece? I'm under the assumption that you guys think skill is referring to the way he swings around Yoru and the way he throws it around in better ways than Shanks and other swordsmen in One Piece? Or is there like a hidden sword fighting style that you guys believe that we're gonna get revealed to? And it's like a hidden power that only true swordsmen who live by the way of the blade can obtain? Or it's like a hack's ability that sets you apart from other swordsmen? Is it having a black blade that makes you more skilled? I honestly don't know. Whatever you guys believe to be swordsman's skill or swordsmanship that leads you to believe Mihawk can be more skilled as a swordsman but not necessarily stronger, even though he has that title, then let's say Mihawk were to lose a sword duel to Shanks, because like I said, Shanks is a swordsman, and let's say he loses because Shanks, like you guys probably assume, Mihawk only has the skill and Shanks has the overall power, haki man, etc. Does Mihawk remain the strongest swordsman? Because being the strongest swordsman is just your definition of what that skill was, right? So if another swordsman like Shanks beats you with a sword, not because he's more skilled, just because he's more powerful, technically shouldn't you remain the world's strongest swordsman, since the title was originally just about this overall skill? If being the strongest swordsman isn't your overall strength with the sword, because you guys said Shanks could be stronger than Mihawk, but Mihawk just has more skill, that means Mihawk can lose a sword duel to another swordsman and remain the strongest swordsman, because the strongest swordsman title is just about having the most skill, which he still would have, but just not enough power to beat another swordsman in a duel like Shanks, for example. I want you guys to think about that. Mihawk would be able to lose a duel to another swordsman. Now, my biggest problem with the fan-created definition of skill or swordsmanship, or whatever you guys believe to be that skill that Mihawk's better than Shanks at, and why that's a definition of the world's strongest swordsman title. Why have we been following the embodiment of the most pure and relevant and important swordsman in the series for 1,000+ chapters for this fan definition of skill slash swordsmanship to not be the main reason he's elevating to top tier status right now. In Wano, Zoro has made the biggest leap in strength twice, and it was due to Haki, obtaining Enma, which was a Haki related power up, and Advanced Conqueror's Haki, which is the best Haki ability in the series. Zoro is rapidly getting closer and closer to Mihawk and obtaining the world's strongest swordsman title, but I've yet to see Zoro striving and defeating some of the strongest enemies in the series due to whatever you guys think swordsman's skill is. Zoro's as strong as he is right now due to his sheer strength with the sword and his overwhelming Haki, not because of the fan definition or whatever the Shanks fans definition of sword skill is. Now my last question is, since Mihawk could be more skilled at using the sword than Shanks, but he's not stronger than him, and whatever that swordsmanship skill is, that's what granted him his title. Are we gonna see Zoro develop it? Is Zoro gonna be emphasized to have that so-called skill that Mihawk has that gave him that title? Is that skill what's gonna make him the strongest swordsman? Is he gonna be able to get bested by other swordsmen, specifically like Shanks, but he's just better at that certain skill with the sword? Does Zoro getting top tier power and strength, top tier Haki, top tier speed to be every single swordsman even matter? When all it takes is to be the strongest swordsman in the world is making sure you just have this supposed skill or the supposed sword skills over every swordsman, and that's what makes you essentially the world's strongest swordsman, regardless if someone else can be stronger than you fighting exactly the same way you do. I genuinely don't understand how Mihawk could be more skilled than Shanks but still lose to him in a fight. What's the point of being more skilled? Listen, if you want to say Shanks ain't a swordsman, even though it doesn't make sense, that's a better argument than at least saying Shanks is a swordsman who predominantly fights strictly with a sword and he's stronger than Mihawk, because Mihawk only has better sword skills, but Shanks has more powerful Haki, Shanks is stronger, physically faster, all that stuff, and I just don't understand. How can you say another swordsman beats the world's strongest swordsman because he's stronger with his sword? How does that even make sense? But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I want to know your guys' opinions, and I want to know, even if you don't think like these people, I want to know what you guys think about how they think, because I really want to get into the minds of some of these Shanks fans and some of the things that these guys say, because honestly, these are one of the biggest arguments they use to say Shanks is over Mihawk. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Make sure you guys take the time to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.